Welcome to today's demo. For this demo, I will be playing the part of Melissa Wendt, the operator seen here. The Bridge Operator console has a screen layout that breaks down as follows. The top of the screen contains a Microsoft ribbon control similar to what is found in Microsoft Office. In Block, it's broken down into several sections. There's a call control section, call functions, phone books, response groups, and some other miscellaneous features that I will discuss later in this demo. The black area shown here, where we see Melissa Wendt's name, is called our heads-up display area. This shows us information about the current call we have selected. If there's only one call that is currently on the system, that will always be the selected call. The My Conversations box below the heads-up display area will allow us to change between different calls. In the event of a second call, we can simply select it, then use the call control buttons that are applicable on that particular call. Switching back and forth is as simple as toggling between conversations in the My Conversations box. As you can see, the information in the HUD will change as well. A photo of the caller, if it's available, call quality, talking state, time, caller ID information that's available. The user can also use the heads-up display to change their personal presence without having to use the Lync or Skype for Business client. Below the My Conversations box is something we call directory groups. These are built mainly from Active Directory, although the users can build and maintain their own as well. They can be made either local or global, depending on the settings. That will control the visibility, whether they're visible to just this particular user or to all users of Bach on the system. Most commonly, as I said, these directory groups are built from Active Directory. That makes it so that the operators don't have to build and maintain your entire Active Directory structure in their Microsoft Lync or Skype for Business client. It can be done quickly and easily here. For instance, if I want to see all the users in the accounting department, I can simply click on accounting and I can see those without having to build an accounting group and maintain it myself in Lync. The same would go for sales. This is not how you have to find people using our software, but it does give you a simple tool to let you glance at a group of extensions all at one time. Below that is location objects. This is a place where you can put things that you may need to call or transfer calls to that aren't a person. A good example is a response group. As you can see here, we have some response group numbers here. So one can take a call, answer it, and if need be, transfer it to a response group easily using the location objects. You can drag and drop to them, and you can also right click. So you see here I can right click and I can transfer the call one of two ways. The parking information is shown here below the ribbon at the top. If your organization does not use call parking, you can hide this box entirely or shrink the size of it with the controls that are available on all of the boxes in Block. If you're running us in a client server mode, you will be able to share park information with all the other users. If you are in standalone mode, you will only see the calls parked for your particular user. Call parking can be done a number of different ways. A general park can be done using either the ribbon, right-clicking, or dragging and dropping a call to and from the parking lot. As you see, we're able to see that call is now parked, and to retrieve it, we can simply double-click on it to get it back. This concludes the layout section of the Bridge Operator console for Lync and Skype for Business demo. The extensions or Lync users are found under the Directory tab seen here. They'll be displayed in this grid box, and this is the primary focus of the program. What you'll see is a profile picture, name, a call status, which will indicate visually if they're on a call. You'll also see the same status you would find in Lync or Skype for Business as well in the activity status column. We'll also denote meetings and do not disturb with a separate icon as well to give a little bit more visibility to a user at a glance without too much investigation by the operator. In addition to those, we'll add the title and department for visibility, as well as user notes. And here we actually combine the Lync note with two of our own, a shared notes that's available visibly to all the operators using the program, as well as a personal notes section where the operator can put personal notes that would only be visible to him or her in this section. Those can be saved and then viewed here either by hovering or clicking. The extensions or directory area can be sorted by clicking on a column as well as filtered. So if you want to look for a particular user or do searches and filters, you're able to do that on any of these columns as well. The Bridge Operator Console search box is located here. As you see from hovering on the description, we can enter any part of anyone's name, title, department, telephone number, etc. The search box will also gain the focus when a new call comes in, so you don't have to click into it. You'll be able to just answer and start typing immediately. As it states, you can search for someone's name, like Derek in this case. Or again, if we want to search for someone's title, we can type sales and find everyone who works in the sales department easily. Searching has some options as well. By default, it is going to search global. So regardless of which people are on the screen at any given time, it will search the entire Lync users database to find the user you want with this option on. If you want to disable that to search in a particular directory group only, you can do that by toggling this button. You can also toggle the search all fields, which will limit the search to only names with this option set. In this section, we'll talk about call control and call transfers. One takeaway from this section is that there's a number of different ways to transfer, answer, park, hang up, hold, resume calls in Bridge Operator Console. For example, when a call rings, we can answer it either using the Lync toast message if we like, which will appear down here. We can answer it using the ribbon in our program. We can double click on it in the My Conversations box. We could also right click on that conversation and answer it, as well as double click in the HUD. And there's also a keyboard shortcut. But once we've answered a call, we want to transfer. So let's search for Derek Reiser. To transfer calls, there are really 5 common methods, and I'll go through 4 of them in detail. The first is drag and drop. Essentially, the most common thing operators are going to try by default is drag and drop, and we provide that in 2 mechanisms. You can either drop an individual call on someone, or you can drag the entire HUD with the selected call and drop it on a user. Once you do that, you'll be presented this box that gives you choices. It'll show you the call that you've selected, who you've selected it to transfer to, and then it'll ask you what sort of action you want to perform on it. So we have a blind transfer, supervised transfer, where we'll talk to the user first and announce the caller. If we know they're gone, we can transfer it right to their voicemail, or we can park the call for them. If we want to always perform the same action when we drag and drop, we simply select make this the default action next time, and then select one of the choices. In our case, we're just going to click transfer call. You'll see it'll put our screen back the way we had it, and we can actually follow along and make sure that Derek got this call here, as now he's answered the call. Similar to drag and drop, there's a double click function as well. Again, I can double click in the HUD to answer a call, and I can also double click to toggle a call between the state of hold and talking. When I double click on a user, if I have no selected call, it will call that user. If I have a selected call, it will give me a box like this, prompting me, again, for a choice. And the choices are similar, but they include the call option as well. So, and I can also set a separate default for the double click action. In this case, I'm just going to do the transfer like I did before, so we can see the similarity of how the functions work the same. Keyboard shortcuts are also available, and they're located here. In addition to those, you're also able to see a little bit of detail as to what the icons mean while you're learning the program. This can be handy, and this key can be popped out simply by clicking on the bar on the side. You can toggle it in and out. To handle a call with the keyboard, first we will let the mouse park up here. We will press Control+ to answer the call. We will search for a user, and once we have got one user on the screen, we can use the shortcut Control-T to do that same blind transfer. So that's how we would handle a functional call with the keyboard. We'll also work fine with any of the programmable keyboards or programmable USB extended keyboards. The last method I'll show you is using the right mouse click. If we have a preferred method, this might be it because it does contain all the options in one place. I can right-click to answer a call. When I right-click on a user, you'll see I'm presented with a whole section of call control related functions here. Our basic transfer that we've been doing is here. A supervised transfer is available, and we have an advanced section that will allow us to do a number of different transfers, including a safe call transfer, which will not follow any call forwarding or voicemail routing. It will either connect this call to that human being, or it will return it back to me, the human being that sent it. So the caller will always be talking to a person. They'll never roll to any sort of automated answering or voicemail system with the safe transfer. We'll also give you the transfer call to voicemail, as well as the ability to transfer calls to a mobile phone or supervised transfer those calls to a mobile phone as well. A freeform transfer option is presented in this section, which will allow you to select by typing any numerical number you'd like to transfer the call to. For our purposes, let's just show a supervised transfer quickly. The second call is made to Derek. Once he answers, we can select complete transfer, and that call will be transferred to Derek. The Bridge Operator console extends the functionality available in the Lync response group functions. In the response group section, we can automate the web page that allows for toggling of in and out status in the response groups, the same one that's available in the Microsoft Lync or Skype for Business client. In addition to that, we provide a response group wallboard monitor as part of the program. Now this is going to show you live status of calls that are waiting, calls that have been answered, available queue members, unavailable queue members, and a call history, both daily and hourly. If we generate a call to a response group, we can watch that action take place here. We'll see the call become available, and if we were to answer it, we can again see that call disappear from the availability. So we have real-time call queue monitoring. It's also available here in a smaller form, so you don't have to leave this window open all the time. And you can play an audible tone as a call enters the queue that, one of the queues that you're responsible for. Now, when the call is ringing from a response group, and let's just jettison this call and bring another one in, you'll notice we'll also in the heads-up display show you the information as far as which group it's coming from. So you have that information presented to you before you decide to answer the call as well. If there's a need for reporting on missed calls for a particular response group, we're able to show that as well, and you can see the ones that have been missed in the last 24 hours. If you need to return calls or things like that, that's available here in the reporting section. Call parking can be handled easily using the Bridge Operator console. There's two types of ways to park a call. There's a general park, which just parks the call for no one in particular. Again, that can be done by dragging a call to the parking lot or clicking the park button here. There's several other methods as well. Park calls are retrieved easily by double-clicking and bringing them out of the park. To extend that function, we created something called Park For. Park For is particularly useful if some user is on the phone. Park For combines the call parking with an instant message notification and clickable dial link, alerting the user of the call that's waiting for them. So in this case, let's bring this call up into the foreground so it's not hidden and we can watch what happens when we park a call for Derek Reiser. We will create an instant message for Derek, letting him know about this call, which he can reply, and he can simply click this link to take the call, as he has done in this scenario. So with a single click, we're able to automate that entire process all the way through, making it easy for the operators to handle a high volume of calls and use call parking. There may come an occasion where a caller needs to speak to a particular individual and that individual is not available. In this case, we'll use Derek Reiser as the example. With a function we created called Related People, which is available under the right click of any user, we can find people that have a similar job or role as Derek Reiser to help this caller. As you can see, we'll show people that are related to him in a number of different ways. We can find his manager, assistant, or secretary from Active Directory. Those can be transferred to easily here. We will also show people that share the same manager or are on the same team as Derek in this section. You can also look at people with the same title as Derek here, and people who work in the same department here, helping you to find someone who can help the caller in a similar manner to Derek. In addition to the Lync users available here in the Directory tab, Bridge Operator Console comes with some other address books as well. One of them can be accessed here by right-clicking on someone and pulling up the Active Directory address book. This will default to the user we selected, but will give you the ability to call and transfer to call numbers that are available in Active Directory that may not be available in Microsoft Lync. The other two address books are accessible either here in this menu or on the main screen as well. They are the My Address Book and the Global Address Book. The My Address Book is an address book that is visible only to this user. Only Melissa can see these entries. They can be synchronized with our Exchange connector to pull her Outlook contacts, as well as custom categories that she decides to build. This is a great place to put external call records, maybe vendors, customers, things of that nature that you need to either call, email, etc. And you can see when I right-click, I have the ability to call them, email, transfer calls to them if we were on a call, define their pictures and settings. They can be edited easily by clicking this button or using the toolbar up here. The global address book is similar, however, it is visible to all the users. You can define permissions on the server if you're in client-server mode as to who's allowed to edit it. If you're in standalone mode, you can obviously edit it yourself since you would be the only one who's able to see it anyway. But those records can be edited here, and you see they have a lot more information, sort of like an Active Directory style record with 10 custom fields that you can also define if you have special dialing numbers or things like that that you may need to fill in. This is a great place to do that. And again, the global address book is visible to all the users. So one thing to note is when we do a search, I'll go back here, say we search for John, you'll notice we found 11 records that match in the directory, 21 My Address books, and 1 global. And those are easily done all in a single search box. So without even clicking on the tabs, you'll know which users are available in each of the books. Bridge Operator Console comes with some extended call functions as well, and they can be listed here in the call functions section of the ribbon. For example, if we need to call our own voicemail without using Skype for Business Client or Lync to do it, we can do it with one click here. When we're on a call, we can also share those call details to an external program or URL that can be defined with some registry settings. In our case, we built just a sample app to push that information to, so you can see how easy that is. If you want to find out the call location, maybe you need to transfer to a person based on the geography of the call, you can hit our Show Location of the Call button to map it out using Bing Maps as well. And you can zoom back out to any level really that you want to see where the call is coming from. In addition to those, we have something here called Elevate to Conference. Elevate to Conference will allow you to do something you can't normally do with a PSTN call. So if we bring this call into view, you notice we're not able to record this call. It may be a harassing caller or someone we need to record. With Elevate to Conference, we will essentially make a two-person conference call out of just a normal call. The caller won't be able to tell anything different, and frankly, the call is exactly the same. It's still a two-person audio call. But once we've done that, we're now able to record this call. So that gives the option there for that function as well. There may come occasion where you need to join multiple calls together. Perhaps you have taken an inbound call and you need to reach someone on their cell phone to see if they're available. So you have these two calls up and going, and you need to find a way to join them together without hanging up on one and doing a separate transfer. You just are looking for expedience at this level. So with these two calls going here on the side, we can simply use our Join All Calls function to convert them into a single conference call. So you'll see as this works its way through, that's now joined into one conference call with these 3 people, at which point we can drop out and the 2 of them can talk to each other. These are some of the extended functions that are available in the Bridge Operator Console. If you have the client-server version as well, you can take advantage of some of the automated schedule things. You can schedule an automatic conference where the server can actually build the conference and call the users at the said time you wish. And you can even make that recurring. So you can make an easy, say, sales Monday morning recurring call that's server based that doesn't require any particular user to launch it or start it or anything of that nature. Again, the extended functions are always under development, so always willing to listen to any ideas from users regarding these. A very basic set of call detail reports are available in the program under the File menu. In addition, we'll provide video tutorials right in the program for specific tasks. Most of them are only a minute or less, so they're easily watchable without too much disruption to the workday. The reports are located below that. So a call detail report will show basically a call history to this particular user, as well as a call volume graph on the top. Call stats can be accessed here, where we can see how much talk time a particular user's doing in a given day, who the people that call us the most are, those sorts of things. And again, we have the ability to show the missed response group calls here. So these are the basic reports that are part of the Bridge Operator Console. If more reporting is needed, we offer a software package on our website called the Bridge Web Dashboard that will hook in and do some more back-end reporting via an Ajax.net website. For more information, please visit bridgeoc.com. Bridge Operator Console can also be extended with two optional add-on programs. The first will allow you to do group messaging and paging right from the Bridge Operator Console. So without having to define groups again in the Lync or Skype for Business client, we can take advantage of an Active Directory group, right-click on it, and create a chat window with the entire group. We can also create a conference call with this entire group. Email the group, set a meeting for this entire group, or if we're on a call, we can park this call for the entire group. They'll receive a single message and they can discuss amongst themselves which one is going to take that call or how they want to handle it, getting it off the operator's plate and onto that particular department. These are again available in the group messaging and paging add-on. The other add-on of interest is the Microsoft Exchange Connector add-on. So we'll be able to see if people are in a meeting like we can in Lync or Skype for Business here. And you see we'll show this icon. Where we extend that is when the caller asks, all right, he's in a meeting, when will he be available for me to speak with him? With our Exchange Connector add-on, we can simply open this and see a blinded version of Doug Johnson's calendar to tell the caller it looks like he'll be available at 11 o'clock today. This is done without the need of sharing calendars. So if you have 3,000 users in your organization, you don't need to share 3,000 calendars for this to work. It manages the Microsoft API that integrates with Microsoft Exchange. It will support versions 2007 through the current 2013. As you can see, you have options here as well. We've actually enabled the meeting subject to be visible. You can control that on the server side as well, or in the client if you are running in standalone mode. What we won't show in our particular setup is the meeting body, meeting subject, meeting attendees, those sorts of things. So you can keep meetings private enough to disseminate call availability without exposing details that aren't, public knowledge. If you are an operator for a particular person and you only need to manage one individual's availability, you can pop out any of these as a separate window. And you can actually manage call control right here, where we can transfer this call to Doug Johnson, do various different tasks, as well as see a live scrolling view of his agenda. This concludes our demo for today. Thanks for taking the time. For any questions, please email us at sales@bridgeoc.com or call us at 701-212-4797.